I'm your what? Laura clearly didn't know how to take the news. I'm your heroine? That's right, said Phoenix. I can't wait to see how this pegs out. I don't understand how you and Adams... Hang on. What's Steve Adams got to do with anything? Well, I wrote down your name as the heroine. I gave Adams as the villain. But, like I say, I don't see how it can work. I mean, if they're going to program people into these personalized games, they'll need a photo or something at least. Unless they start grabbing the real people themselves. Despite the slight headache he had been nursing ever since he got up, Phoenix smiled. That's the sort of thing Dad might be expecting. The mood he was in, he wouldn't even put kidnapping past Magnicom. It was incredible how seriously he was taking this game. He wasn't really to blame, though. The Legendeer was addictive, all right. It made him feel more alive than he'd ever been. If pain couldn't keep him away, what could? Are you sure this is for real? Asked Laura. You're not making it up? Of course I'm not making it up. What do you take me for? Well, said Laura, you did tell the whole class stories were better than life. Yes, but that's... He looked around the people on the packed bus and realized that none of them would be worrying about the myths and monsters. It wasn't the sort of thing people thought about on a Monday morning on their way to school or work. All I can say is, Dad is working on a game, and it's as fantastic as I've told you. More so. Laura gave him a skeptical look. I never know how to take you. Laura, said Phoenix, there's one thing you should know about me. I never lie. He said it in all seriousness, so Laura's reaction was all the more shocking. She laughed. No, that's not quite the word for it. She gave a shrill whinny of a laugh that had half the bus staring at her. Sorry, Phoenix, but everybody lies. He stuck to his guns. I don't. Then you must be some sort of saint. Not a saint, just somebody with a destiny. I'm telling you, he insisted. Magnacom does exist, and Dad is involved in developing a personalized game. So, you're telling me you can put me in your game? Yes, and sometime soon they'll be able to customize you a game of your own. Okay, The Wizard of Oz. It's my favorite film. You could make something out of that. I'll be Dorothy. You can be the lion looking for his courage. Phoenix frowned. He had enough with his headache without Laura winding him up. Now you're just being silly. Oh, am I? Well, you just look at it from where I'm sitting. You tell me about this amazing game, but you won't let me play it. I explained that, Phoenix said. Dad would kill me if he knew I even told you about it. Let's change the subject, eh? Said Laura. I don't want to quarrel with you. You're my best friend. Phoenix seized eagerly on her words. Am I? You know you are. Phoenix wanted to hear more, but he reckoned without Steve Adams. Well, he said, if it isn't the lovely Laura, and, oh dear, what bad taste you've got. What can you be doing with this deadbeat? Oh, leave off, Steve, said Laura. Don't you think this has gone far enough? Oh, no, said Adams, the smile instantly leaving his face. I haven't even started. I'll have you, free knickers. Aware of Laura watching him, Phoenix decided to play it cool. Adams, he said matter-of-factly, I'll choose my own friends. Thank you very much. You'll do as you're told, said Adams. You think you're so clever, don't you, swanning in here like you own the place? Well, I'm going to show you exactly who runs Brownlee. I'll be waiting for you tonight, and just you make sure you don't try to do a runner. I'm going to spread the word all round school. You and me on the waste ground opposite the gates. Don't even think about bottling it, or you'll never be able to hold your head up around here again. See ya, free knickers. As Phoenix watched Adams making his way back down the bus, Laura caught his attention. Take no notice, she said. He's all talk. Are you sure about that? Oh, Phoenix, you're not going to do it. You're not going to fight him. Phoenix was struggling with the discomfort behind his eyes. It doesn't look like he's given me much of a choice, though. Laura sighed. Well, I am. You walk away. Nobody will blame you. Steve Adams is a thug. Just give him a wide berth. Oh, I will, said Phoenix, if he lets me. Adams had no intention of letting Phoenix off the hook. All day long, Adams's cronies were sidling up to him, reminding him that he was expected on the waste ground at 3:15. For once, Adams took a back seat in the continual goading. "Don't let it get to you," Laura told him during the lunch hour. "You don't look quite right, you know." Phoenix was tempted to tell her it wasn't because of Adams. The headache he'd woken up with had turned into a general feverishness. His skin prickled and his eyes felt as if they were being pushed back into their sockets. Something told him this might have something to do with the game too. Even when he was little, the attacks had never been this frequent. "It'll be okay." But the headache didn't let up, nor did the campaign. It continued throughout the afternoon, with notes passed across the classroom. "Ignore it," Laura advised between lessons. But by home time, Phoenix knew it would take a miracle to prevent the fight. Just walk away," Laura pleaded as they headed for the school gates. Phoenix smiled thinly. Because of the headache, he didn't feel like speaking or even nodding his head. But ahead of him was a reception party of Adams's mates. A buzz of excitement was running through the crowds of school kids jostling past them. Everybody knew about the fight. Just keep walking," said Laura. "I've told you before, he carries a weapon." But by the time he reached Adams's cronies, he knew there was no avoiding the fight. "He's waiting for you," they taunted. Phoenix didn't even give them a glance. "You're coming with us," they announced, surrounding him. The headache was a searing band of pain behind his eyes. He no longer had the strength or the will to resist. As he accompanied them across the road, he realized that Laura had disappeared. "Surprise, surprise," crowed Adams. "Look who's here." "There's no need to do this," said Phoenix feebly, struggling with the drumbeat in his head. He tried to break out of the circle of onlookers, but they shoved him back in. "Oh, yes," said Adams, rushing him. "There is." Phoenix took the full force of the charge on his right side and was spun around. The world turned, sickening him to the core. He lost his footing and fell. As he hit the ground for a split second, he saw something. Not stars, but numbers. The numbers from the monitor screen. "What's happening to me?" It was as if the game was reaching out, calling him back. For a moment he was between two worlds. Adams took immediate advantage, getting behind his opponent and pinning his arms. Phoenix struggled, but Adams had a powerful grip. Wriggling one arm loose, Phoenix prized Adams's hands off. The respite didn't last long. As Phoenix turned to face his opponent, Adams sprang at him, the force of the attack pinning him to the ground. "You're going to regret ever coming to Brownlee," Adams snarled. That was almost funny. Phoenix had been regretting it for months. Sitting astride Phoenix, Adams steadied himself, but Phoenix forced a hand under the boy's jaw, shoving back his head. He could feel Adams shifting backwards. The move soon had him half unseated, grunting with discomfort. But Adams wasn't done yet. He crouched over Phoenix, punching hard. "Get him, Steve! Batter him!" Phoenix's head was pounding. The oppressive heat was overpowering. Even worse was the smell, the choking animal musk of the labyrinth. "I'm going mad!" "Don't let him off, Steve! Get into him!" Phoenix was shocked by the savage beating he was taking, but he wasn't about to give up. He had more pride than that. "Get off me!" he spat, blood dripping from his nose. But Adams was in command. He twisted his fingers round Phoenix's tie and punched down into his face. That's when Phoenix started to retch. "Look out, Steve! He's gagging!" Adams drew away. A moment later, Phoenix was suddenly violently sick. "Ugh! The disgusting pig!" Phoenix was leaning to one side, coughing and spluttering. Once Adams had released him, he wiped his face and rolled over, feeling drained. He was looking up at the sky. Adams had gone. All Phoenix could hear were the retreating footfalls of the gang. As he rose unsteadily to his feet, he noticed Laura hurrying through the school gates in the company of two of the teachers. But he didn't wait for them. He didn't want to share his humiliation with anyone else. From somewhere he found the strength to run. He was in no mood to talk. He wanted to lick his wounds alone.